Former U.S. President Donald Trump appeared in a Florida court yesterday and pleaded not guilty to criminal charges in his classified documents case. Trump is accused of allegedly mishandling national security reports when he left office back in 2021. Legal experts warned that it could take up to a year before he's on trial. Trump and his aide, Walt Nauta, who is also charged in the matter, have been ordered not to talk to witnesses about the case. Matibe is U.S. Foreign Policy and Global Affairs Commentator, and she joins us now to get us a sense. Pearl, thank you very much, firstly, for your time. What a birthday gift for Donald Trump. Let's start maybe with his reaction. What have we been seeing coming out from him or his office?
Well, so thank you so much. In general, if you take a look at the cases, remember just context for the Newzroom Afrika audience, this is the second time this year, right? There was an earlier case in the New York court. This is a different court in the state of Florida. So President Donald Trump, after he was given the 37 charges, actually over the weekend, he was back on the campaign trail. So what we know is that the U.S. Department of Justice's Special Counsel Jack Smith, he delivered remarks at a press conference on Friday. The reason for that was because he was unsealing the charges for former President Trump, which are felony violations that they say would have risked America's national security. So when you ask about his reaction, after that happened on Saturday, he was out on the campaign trail trying to raise money. And according to the federal agency, there's an entity that regulates how much money politicians can raise. And the record already shows that he has already raised more than in excess of $18 million just in this year alone. So he is saying that he is not guilty. In fact, I'll quote him. He said, I am innocent. I have done nothing wrong. So that is his position, and he has not been changing from that. Back to you.
Just how much support does Donald Trump enjoy in the United States, especially when you take a look that he's put himself out there to say, well, I'm up for presidency one more time. And if indeed that does happen in spite of his legal woes, geopolitically, what does that mean more so for the Russia-Ukraine conflict, given his utterances?
You're asking a very important question. So let's just look at presidents in general globally and when they some have been arrested. So to ask the question, is Donald Trump's situation unique? It's not unique if you look at other presidents who have faced criminal charges. I'll give you some examples. Former Pakistani Prime Minister, we've seen Imran Khan. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, right? So, and former French President Nicolas Sarkozy. Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. These are presidents who have led their countries and have faced criminal charges. So if you look at the rest of the world, in fact, even in South Africa, right, former President Zuma, he faced criminal charges. So globally, it's not unique that a former president would face charges. Many, even in Sudan, we saw Omar al-Bashir, in South Korea, in Argentina, Mexico. So many have done. What is unique about President Trump is that in the United States, has it ever happened before? The answer is never. Has in 216 years, since 1807, there has never been any sitting vice president or president who has faced these charges. That's why it makes it unique, not just for Trump, but for the United States and how the rest of the world views the rule of law in the United States. So your question is very much significant here. In terms of how much support he is facing, former President Trump is unfazed by these charges. You see, right now, his party, the Republican Party, right, there are many other candidates who are going to be up against him. In fact, right now, there's a total of 11, with the most recent one, former Governor who has also joined. Vice President Pence will also be running. But people within his party still support him. So the 45th president, he's out on the campaign. On Saturday, he went to 2 huge Republican conventions in the state of Georgia and the state of North Carolina. And he plans to continue. In fact, yesterday, after coming out of being fingerprinted at the court in Florida, he went back onto the campaign trail. So he is casting himself as a victim of politically motivated efforts by people who want to stop him because he's so much in the front of this race. In fact, the election polls right now show him that he's even ahead of Biden. So if everybody right now in the United States, if today was the day we were voting and we were going to the ballot box today, the person who would win the presidency would be former President Donald Trump. So just to give you an idea and a sense of just how much support he's still receiving and where he stands if things were to happen today. We don't know what's going to happen, right, in the weeks and months ahead, but within his party, this is a primary. So they still have to contend amongst each other so that his own party comes up with their own candidate who will then go up against President Biden. So right now he's in for the primary elections. Just like in South Africa, you hold primary elections, right? Now, you asked about what does this mean for the world. The world is watching. The world is watching how the United States sort of executes or goes through the processes of the rule of law. We heard the special counsel at the Department of Justice say, quote, he said, "We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone. Our office will seek a speedy trial, no matter who it is." So they're putting on this impression that they're treating him like anybody else. So is that really true that they're treating him like everybody else? If that was so, the brand of President Trump, just him being in the room, for President Trump, he must be feeling constrained because he is such a large figure brand-wise when he just enters in the room. So it must be unusual for him.
Sure.
Yes, over to you.
Thank you so much for your time and for helping us make sense of all of the happenings on that side of the world.